So change the color to teal. So file, if you just click on it one time, nothing will happen. If you click on it double time, like double click on it, so here you can see this event will fire and it will now use this kind of a teal color. If you double click on it one more time, so that class will be gone because you're doing toggling. Let's just duplicate that one more time and change that one to what, 4, and also change the event name to mouse down, and also change this color to be steel blue. And now if you save our files, so first of all, let's just learn about the event occur when the user presses a mouse button over an element. If you just click on it, so here you can see this event will fire. It's kind of like a click event, but this is another word to use, the mouse down. Come on, man. Alright, so then we have another one, which is the event occurs when the pointer is moved onto the element. And this one, and I guess the mouse move, both of them are the same. Let me just show you that one by one. So we have a 4, then we have a 5, and let's just change that to, instead of mouse down, we have mouse enter, like so, and change the color to be orange. And so file, so what do we have? Okay, so once I hover my mouse over to it, it's kind of like a CSS hover. Once you hover a mouse over to it, so something will happen. So in this case, we are doing a toggling, so this is what's happening right now. Okay, so this is a mouse enter. It's kind of same like a hover one. And let's just change that to 6 one. So 6th, and also change this event to mouse leave. So let me just write mouse leave and change the name, or not the name, but the color to purple. Purple, like so. And now if you save that, if you just hover a mouse over to it, nothing will happen. But if you just mouse leave, here you can see that event will fire. And if you just hover over it, that event will, nothing will happen. But if you just hover a mouse out, like mouse out, so this event will fire. Okay, so let's just duplicate that, and you can learn more about that in your spare time. And SEVEN, mouse move and mouse enter is kind of like the same one. Mouse move, let me just show you that one as well. So we have a purple, we have a pink. So if you save that, and now if you mouse move, not that one. So if you mouse move, so first of all, if you mouse move, so it will now take this pink color. If you mouse out, so it will just remove that color from it. That's because we are doing a toggling, and this is how everything looks like. You know what, instead of mouse move 7, let's just comment this line out. 7, come on, 7 dot text content will be now set to hello. And now if you save that, and now if you hover our mouse over to it, it will now give us that hello right here. I'm gonna comment that one, now gives us that hello. Now if you save that, and now if you hover our mouse over to it, it will now give us that hello right here. I'm gonna comment that one, cut that one to be precise, and duplicate this one, and then we have a 8. Also change this one to mouse out. So once we mouse out, it's kind of like the same one. So change the crimson color to be crimson. So this one, not that one. So once we mouse up, so let me just refresh this page, and now once we hover our mouse over to it, nothing will happen. If we just hover it back, and this event will fire, like so, nothing is happening. If you just go back, so that event will fire, like so. Okay, so you can just play around with that if you want to, but all of them are the same kinda. So let's just change that one to 9. And mouse over, we already learned about CHOCOLATE. Why did I include do that again and again. Once we mouse enter, is that a mouse enter? MOUSE over. Okay. This one is not working. N-I-N-E, N-I-N-E. Okay, so mouse over. Mouse over. Okay, so we give a class of mouse over and we store that in the ninth one. N-I-N-E, mouse over, and we just toggle the class CHOCOLATE, CHOCOLATE, like so. Now if you mouse over it, so everything is working the way we expect them to work. And then the final event we have is mouse up. It's kind of a stupid one. I don't know why people would create such an event like that. 10 and then mouse up. All of them are the same, you know. Equa. And now if you click on it, so here you can see all of them are kind of the same. Like, I mean, like, what's the point of just making two events like same? Click on, like, I mean, like, what's the point of now if you click on it, so here you can see all of them are kind of the same. Like, I mean, like, what's the point of just making two events like same? Click on this one, click on that one, and it will do the same thing. The event occurs when the user releases a mouse button over an element. Okay, we have to click on that. Kind of a stupid. Anyway, so that was our mouse event. So we have our click, then we have a on context click menu, then we have a double click, mouse down, mouse enter, mouse leave, mouse move, mouse out, mouse over, mouse up. So we have different kind of events and we already learned all about that. And if you want to learn more, you just have to hold control and click on that, and it will bring you to this W3 school documentation. And you can even learn about a transition, page transition event. You can learn about a pop stat event, progress, and there are countless of them if you want to learn more about that. Let's just click on this one. And all event objects of the DOM are based on the event blah. Close that one as well. And now let's just learn about a keyboard event. So I'm gonna launch my index.html file, right click on it and open it with the live server and open our developer tools right here. Or dev tools, and let me just zoom in a bit. Inside this body we just have our input with the type of text, and we don't have nothing special in our HTML. Okay, so we just with the type of text and we don't, and let me just zoom in a bit. Inside this body we just have our input with the type of text, and we don't have nothing special in our HTML. Okay, so we just have a link. You can learn more about the keyboard events by going to W3 school if you want to, but about the nothing special in our HTML. Okay, so we just have a link. You can learn more about the keyboard special in our HTML. This body we just have our input with the type of text, and we don't have nothing special in our HTML. Okay, so we just have a link. You can learn more about the keyboard events by going to W3 school if you want to, but we have a const input.query selector and we select our input. Alright, so now let's just start work on our first event, which is a key press. So once we press some sort of a key, so that add event listener, and let me just write a key press, and here we just have to fire some sort of event, like I don't know, I'm gonna just write console.log of key pressed. if you just press some sort of a key, so this event will not fire until we press some keys. So I'm going to just press some random key right here. So these are random keys I'm pressing right now, and that event will fire that much time, like so. So that was the first one. Let's just duplicate that and change this one to, I'm going to comment this out and change this event to key up. If you just hold our key, so that event will not fire. If we just release our key, so that event will fire. So key up, kind of a stupid one. And if you just let me just hold some button, I'm going to hold this H. So I'm gonna hold this edge and that event will not fire, but if I just release that, and here you can see that event will fire. So if I just presses, and here you can see that will fire that much time, that event will fire that much time. Anyways, so that was a key up, and then we have the final one. Let's just duplicate that and learn about something called a key down. So if the key is down, like key down, key press and key down is kind of a same, like key down, save our file. And if you just key down, like if you just hit some key, so this event will still fire like that much time. Anyway, so that was just it about for keyboard events. And now let's just learn a few useful properties and method related to this. Let's just learn like that much time. Anyway, so that was just it about for keyboard events. And now let's just learn a few useful properties and method related to this keyboard event. So I'm going to just write like useful properties, properties, and methods, like so. So now let's just use that. Let's just get our input, not that one, input, and use add event listener. And once we press some key, so we want to get our e, because this is important. And now let's just write console.log of e, and then char code. So it will now use that character code. So if you just type something, like if I just type A, so it will now use the character code of 97, and then B 98, C 99, D, E, F, and blah blah blah. Okay, so any key I press, it will give us different kind of character code based on the specific key which I'm pressing right now. Okay, like so. And we are going to be building a project by using this char code and stuff like that. Let me just duplicate that and change this one to code, and I'm going to comment that other one line. So save file, and now if I hit A, so it will now give us key A. If I hit B, C, D, A, F, G, it will just give us key and the specific key name. And then let's just use console.log of e.ctrl key. It will just check, did the user hold that key while pressing some sort of a key. So let me just write A, so it will now give us false, B still false. But if I just hit control and if I hit Q, so it will now give us true. Control and hit B, so it will now give us true. It will just give us true if the control key was hold long uses if I hit uses key while pressing some sort of a key. So let me just write A, certain long uses false, B still false. But if I just hit control and if I hit Q, certain long uses true. Control and hit B, certain long uses true. It will just give us true if the control key was hold, but if it will give us false if that wasn't the case. So now let's just log that to the console like key, not key, but e dot key. And now if you save that, if you just write A, so it will now give us A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and blah, blah, blah. It will just print us all of the keys which you are pressing right now. And then we have a shift keys. So it will just check, did the user hold a shift? What if that? Log that to the gives us false if that wasn't the case. So now let's just log that to the console like key, not key, but e dot key. And now if you save that, if you just write A, so it will now give us A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and blah, blah, blah. It will just print us all of the keys which you are pressing right now. And then we have a shift keys. So it will just check, did the user hold a shift while hitting on that key or not. So if I just write A, so nothing will happen. It will give us false. If I just hit I don't know, B, it will give us still false. But if I hold shift and hit Q, so it will now give us true. And if I just hold shift and hit G, it will also give us true, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these were just a few methods and properties which you can use throughout, and we are going to be also building a project by using these keyboard events and stuff like that. Alright, so now we are totally done with our DOM course, but you can practice that by going to like random websites if you want to. Like in my case, I'm gonna just go splash.com and I can just explore there. Like I can just play around with the DOM, I can change the things, I can even change the images if I want to, and I can do lots of stuff with that. And I'm going to be also giving you a project, like we are going to be building this 6 project in this video. But my recommendation will be to first of all go to random website, like I don't know, in my case I just came to Unsplash. You can go to Google and you can just play around with that, you know. Just select something by using a query selector, check how it's called. Like go to the elements panel and go to the body like the app, or you know what, you can just click on that and click around like anywhere you like, and it will give us different kinds of like classes. So you don't have to, let me just show you a quick real quick trick. So now that we click on this Unsplash, or like we just selected that Unsplash Award 2022, but if you just hit $ and 0, and if you hit enter, and here you can see it will now just select that paragraph for you. But this will 0, and if you hit enter, and then 22, but if you just hit $ and 0, and if you hit enter, and here you can see it will now just select that paragraph for you. But this will only work on developer tools. So now if you just select this Unsplash right here, and if you go to our console and then $ and 0, and if you hit enter, so it will now just select that Unsplash right here. So we can just store that here, and if you hit enter, so here, and if you go to our console developer tools, so now if you just select this Unsplash right here, and if you go to our console and then $ and 0, and if you hit enter, so it will now just select that Unsplash right here. So we can just store that to some variables and stuff like I don't know, what can I do? I'm gonna copy just single class of it, and I'm gonna just store that to like const site name, and it will be now equals to document.query selector of that site name. And by the way, don't forget to include their period because it's a class. And now we selected their site name. Let's just see site name, and if you hit enter, okay, so we can just use site name dot inner text, we can check out that one. We can also change it to our own name like Hussein Web Dev, and if we hit enter, and here you can see it will now change the unsplash to Hussein Web Dev. You can also find out how many images we have inside this all website, so we can just use like const imgs for document.query selector of just use img, and if you hit enter, and now if you just explore this imgs and if you hit enter, so it will now just gives us the first one, because oh come on because we just use a query selector, not query selector. Let me just refresh that one more time. And now let's just use our query selector all in this case. I'm gonna just use const imgs and document dot query selector all, and let's just use our img. And if you hit enter, and if you just hit on img, so we have 17 images on just this one landing page right here. So if you just click on that, we can explore more. Like we have this image, that one, we have other images down here. We can explore that, we can get a classes of them, we can do a lot sort of stuff with them. Like we learn enough stuff, we learn crazy stuff throughout this course. So my recommendation will be to just spend a few seconds, not seconds, I shouldn't have to seconds, but my recommendation will be to just spend a few hours just going to random sites and just exploring with that. Like you can even change the background color of this site. Let's just get into, I'm gonna click on here somewhere, and okay, router, additional router, let's just select that real quick. I'm gonna hit dollar signs and dollar sign and 0, and now let's just get this class. I'm gonna cut that or copy this class, and we can even change the classes. Like we can even change different kind of stuff, like I don't know, const header, or you know what, section when I goes to document dot query selector of that element or whatever, and section dot style dot background color will be now set to sky blue. If you hit OK, so something is cannot read a property of null. So we did miss something in here. You can change the color of something else, like I don't know, excuse me. So what should we do? I'm gonna go to some other site, like let's just go to Google Chrome site official web page, and now let's just play around with that. I'm gonna right click on it and go to the inspect area, go to the console and select that body, and let's just use dollar sign and 0, hit enter, and let's just copy that. And what do we have to do? I'm gonna just store that in variable like section or header would be fine. So document dot query selector of that kind of a weird selector, and if you just check the header, it will now give us the header. We can change the background color of that, header dot style dot background color of that to like something else, like maybe sky blue. And if you hit enter, and there we go, your Google is now totally sky blue. You can even remove this stuff from here. Let's just right click on it, or you know what, let's just what can we do with that? Let's just remove this